Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is my first StreamYard. I thought I might try this because I did download an app um, on my phone, and because usually I try, since I can't go live on my YouTube yet, I decided to try the video editor that I had on my app. But long story short, that didn't work at all. So I found out about StreamYard, so I thought I'd try this. Um, I know a lot of people aren't going to watch it, but I really don't care about that. It's hopefully it'll be easier to get my videos out there, so that way I don't have to edit them as much, especially my TV reviews. Um, but today I would like to talk about Pose. Last night's episode. This is going to be my review. This is going to be season three. This is the final episode. Season, and this is the final. Um, there's three more episodes after this, so this will be episode four. It is titled "Take Me to Church." We start with Pray Tell. He's having night sweats. His relationship is gone, um, and he looked at his in the mirror because he was changing his sheets because he sweat so much, and he came to find out he saw a lump on his shoulder. So he went to the doctor, and June told him that it may be due to um, AIDS. Usually they'll get lymphomas when they have AIDS. Um, Bertel was like, okay. So then the doctor came in and told him that he did a biopsy on the lymphoma and came to find out it was an aggressive type cancer. Now, I was about to shut off the episode after that because I'm a big advocate on finding a cure for cancer. Because some people say there's a cure for cancer, which I wouldn't even doubt it. And if there was a cure, they would jack up the price so high till you couldn't afford it. But Freytel was in shock, and he asked how many months did he have to live. And the doctor said at least between a month to 6 months. And Freytel was in shock. Um, and I could only imagine what he's going through because it's literally just like you're living your life one moment, and not only that, you're trying to survive with this disease that's basically back in the 90s in the AIDS pandemic is literally killing people off. I mean, people was dropping like flies. To now you have cancer on top of that. So while June and Blanca was talking, Pretel was in his thoughts, and I can only imagine. And then he says he was going back home to forgive some people, and he was going to use his time wisely. He goes home to his mother's house. Um, I forgot the lady's name. It was Craig's mother off of Friday. She's happy to see him because she hasn't seen him in a long time. So they talking. She's frying some catfish, and Aunt Jackie. I'm gonna call her Aunt Jackie because I didn't know. I know it was an aunt, but I didn't know her name, so I'm gonna call her Aunt Jackie. Aunt Jackie and a lady named Charlene was sitting around the table talking to Freytail and trying to catch up on all the things that he did. Um, Freytail sat down and he said, I have something to tell you. And Aunt Jackie and Charlene, they're just like, what is it? Um, Freytail says his mother, I have AIDS. He said, I had HIV for 6 years and I'm dying. His mother got up and let them discuss. Charlene got on my nerves on this episode. Basically, everybody got on my nerves on this episode. Mainly has to do with um, the black church and how against homophobia, they're against homophobia, but they have their other secrets that they don't want. Basically, the thing they don't want to air out their dirty laundry. At this point, I felt horrible for Rachel because he practically what sounds like he was raised in church and they basically disowned him because he was gay. We have heard this countless times about how homophobic the church is, whichever color they are. While alone, there's some people in the choir who don't even know their brother or sister. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Charlene is going on this salvation rant. You need Jesus. You need to repent for your sins. And pray tell what you've done. You like just stop. Literally just stop. I don't need prayers. I need love. That's it. And Charlene basically said, well, you can't do that because you turned your back on God. And pray tell got angry and he said, what about all the times that I was beaten, how he treated me? Basically, the church was a hypocrite because we were taught young that if we need anything or if anything happens, you can go to church. If you have a problem, go to church. But unless you're gay, basically, we don't need you. We'll kick you out. That's basically what he's saying. Charlene invites Praytel to church. Praytel was against it at first, but then he went along. Charlene was like, you need to go. You need to come on and go. You need Jesus. And both Charlene and Aunt Jackie said that if you need anything, we'll be with you to the very end in your last days, and we'll be there for you. We'll be there in your last days. He said, okay. Fertel goes to church. He sees a woman singing. She had a beautiful voice, a wonderful voice. I loved her voice. Um, Fertel was sitting there, and then we see a man. He sits right behind him. He sits right behind him, and the lady was singing and praising. And then when it was over, the man said that was good. Well, Pray Tell didn't pay attention at first, but I guess he saw him because he said, Pastor Vernon Jackson. He said, how are you? And Pastor said, I'm good. He said, I haven't seen you in 25 years. He said, yeah. They leave. Charlene and the other two leave, leaving the pastor and Pray Tell together. Pray Tell tells Pray Tell tells the pastor why he was here, and he basically told him what he's dying. The pastor tells Pray Tell that I'm a married man, and even Pray Tell was just like, "Who are you fooling?" Came to find out he dated two different men, and now he's dating. Well, he's married to Pray Tell's best friend, who just so happened to basically Pray Tell told Ebony, her name was Ebony, everything about the pastor. And well, before he was a pastor, we can call him pastor. Before the pastor, and Pastor Vernon went on this again, like Charlene and everyone else, the salvation rant. You need to let go of your homosexuality. And he kept saying, I used to be gay, but I'm not no more. And Pray Tell doesn't fall for it. He doesn't fall for it at all. He is just like, who are you fooling? You or me? So, and I didn't understand. So basically, for what I'm catching, the pastor is, DL. Um, him and Pray Tell got to it. Pray Tell kept telling um, Vernon that the church turned his back on him. Like I said previously, the church turned his back on him when he needed him. And Vernon was just like, well, it's never too late for salvation. And he handed him a Bible, and Pray Tell said it's not for me. And that was killed again. And at this point, just heart there. And I'm just like, okay, you tell everybody that to repent against homosexuality, and now you're inviting this man over that you used to be with to dinner. Is basically what I'm catching. So anyway, they go to dinner. It's Pray Tell, his two, the pastor with his two kids, and Ebony. And the children was reciting Bible scriptures. And the only thing that I was thinking about was, while I was listening to them talk about Bible scriptures, is what if one of his children, either the boy or the girl, turned out, gay? Which is nothing wrong with it, but how would the pastor treat them? would he treat them the same as he would his congregation, or would he just sweep it under the rug? I don't know. After the church, um, after one thing, Praytail goes back to his mother, and she's highlighting scriptures in the Bible, and she basically told him, "I knew you was gonna get that disease." And this part right here basically made me question everything with the black church. Well, depending on the black church, I'm gonna say it like that. His mother told him that pastor helped her. She was going through depression. Bertel got into Bertel because his homosexuality basically was too much for her, which didn't make no sense in nobody's book. And Bertel got angry because he told his mother, "Why didn't you protect me from my father?" His father was abusive towards him. His name was Ernest, and he used to beat on Bertel. My guess is when he was younger, up until he could push, Bertel could push him off, basically fight him off. Bertel basically asked his mother, "Why didn't you protect me?" And the words that came out of her mouth was, "Because I needed a husband," basically. And Bertel got angry and he said it wasn't the fact that you need your husband, it was the fact that you was listening to, you didn't want to be talked about in the church, which shouldn't matter because that is your child. Who cares what people in the church say? That is your child. You basically let your husband beat on your child and you did nothing to protect him. And basically, when he couldn't do anything, turned to his parents, he turned to the church. But I guess in the church didn't want him because he was gay. So that was out of everything. And then his mother basically told him that you need to move on and let the past lie. You cannot do that. Even today, there are some parents who would not accept their child being gay at all. Because even way back, I think in 2015 or 16, I used to read posts about um, men or women talking about if the kid was gay, they would beat the gay out of him. I'm like, are you serious? We go back in time to um, in church. A choir was singing, and this one boy, he wore glasses and a white cardigan. I don't know what his name is. He sung his heart out. He had a beautiful. And then Charlene, who was the lead of the choir, um, said, "That's enough, We'll come back some other day." She said, "Okay." Um, I never heard this song in a long time. I forgot who sung the song. I think it was Lauren. I forgot who wrote the song. I think it was Lauren Hill. I think "Killing Me Softly," because I remember Albie Sure used to do a song, and I love that version too. But my guessing that the boy was Pray Tell and the other one was a pastor. They were picking up books, and then they see each other. They were talking, and then they end up kissing. Well, Charlene saw it, and that's when that whole thing started with the church. Um, Now we get back to dinner. Okay, the Bible scripture. Um, the pastor left. He had a phone call. He had an emergency, so he went to go to tend to it. And so he asked if everything was gonna be okay here. She said yes. So they okay. So um, him and they get back to the church. So him and Ebony was talking, and this part really just was just strange and odd and creepy. Ebony talked to Bertel. They were catching up, and she basically asked Pray Tell, because I have never heard of this before. This is my first time ever hearing this. She asked Pray Tell if she could show him how to please Vernon. Because she even said, I see the way you two look at each other. And at this point, I'm just like, no, 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 no. Because, and then I'm wondering, does she know that he's gay? Even Bertel was just like, are you crazy? And I'm just sitting here like, oh my God. So Bertel basically told her, your husband is gay. And Ebony is like, no, he's a good Christian man. He's a strong Christian man. I'm like, he's gay. I mean, is nothing, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but he's basically like, I don't know, like, Bertel kept was just confused. I was confused. Well, no, Bertel wasn't confused. I was confused. But he basically was just like, he's gay. And no matter how you twist it, spin it, or turn it, he's gay. And Ebony just sat there crying. I'm just like, and she pointed to the picture of Jesus. And Bertel looked at that picture, and he was just like, even in a black household, the worship of white Jesus. And she was basically like, it's not like that. God taught us about pain, and life is violent. And the closer, or the more we play, the closer we are to God. Praytel basically told her that you can't change the man. No matter how many times you pray, you can't change the man. He's gay, no matter what. Um, Praytel walks outside. Pastor Vernon comes back, and Pastor Vernon asks Praytel to walk with him down the neighborhood. He says, "Okay." They're walking down the neighborhood. They're walking down the neighborhood, and um, Pastor Vernon basically tells him that he misses him. Now, this is where my blood pressure went up a little bit. Is when he basically tells Praytel, Pastor Vernon, that he always loved Praytel, and he confesses that he still loves him even after all these years. And my thing is, if you truly, truly loved, and I mean really loved this person, like you say you do, like if you say you love Praytel, like you say you do, you would still be with Praytel. You would do anything to be with him. I mean, I know it's the 90s, but even back then, you would do anything to be with that person. And I think it's because I'm a hopeless romantic, but you would do anything just to see that person. And you wait until this person is practically dying to tell him that you love him. That's what made me mad. But anyway, Pertel was just like, you can't just abandon them. I mean, you practically have a family. You have wife and kids. You can't just up and leave them for me. And Pertel told him that he was dying of AIDS. I mean, and Pastor Vernon was just like, no matter what, I'm going to be there for you. They kiss, and um, they kiss. Pertel goes back home. He sees his mama eating candy. And he said, you know Charlene gonna get you right. Or Jackie gonna get you right. One of the two. And mama started laughing. His mom started laughing, saying, yeah, don't tell nobody. And she said, do you remember all them times you said you was gonna take the Greyhound? And Pray Tell started laughing. He said, yeah. He said, I took it every other week. Or he said, yeah. He said, I took it every other week. And his mom would always sit there and say that she would wait by the window, wait on him. And Pray Tell started laughing. He said, you know, the funny thing about people in the church is that everyone has a secret, but it's a lie that they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth, they want to hear a lie. And his mom was basically just like, that's what y'all you came here for. Was basically just to torment me. And Pray Tell was like, no. And he said, he came back to forgive people who done him wrong. Who done him wrong. And he said, the only thing that I'm guilty of is that I lived in my truth. That was it. He said, I don't care about anything else. He said, I lived in my truth. That's it. Why go against me because I'm living in my truth? Then the mom started crying. and she said um, that she accepts him for who he is, and that she's sorry for everything she has done. The police is everywhere. Anyway, she's sorry for what she has done, and um, then his mom asked, "Do you believe in salvation?" And he said, "No." And he said, "But I know there's a God." And so she asked him, "What kind of God do you preach to?" He said, "A kind, loving, and forgiving God is what I pray to." Which, that's a God that everybody should pray to. At least that's what I was taught. You know, kind, loving, and forgiving. Um, the mother invites Bertel to church. Bertel's unsure because of how, they would look at him and how they would treat him. Um, Billy Porter can sing. Charlene said, "You remember in church, they used to have them, I forget what they're called, special guests. If there's a special guest, please come up." That brought back so many memories. Bertel goes up and he sings a beautiful song. It was lovely. And it literally took me back to church. Um, Towards the end, yeah, towards the end, the final thing, Aunt Jackie and Pray Tell are sitting having dinner, and Aunt Jackie gives him some papers and basically would like for Pray Tell to be, um, not Pray Tell, Aunt Jackie to be his power of attorney. Um, she said, "Whatever wish that you have, whatever wish that you want, I will do it. I will see sure to do it." And Bertel basically told her that he wanted to be cremated, and he wanted to be in a locket, get some lockets, and put his ashes in there, so that way, if um, he'll always be with his family and friends forever. He said, "Okay," and she signed it. Um, Bertel gets on a Greyhound. Um, I thought that I saw the pastor because I saw a black truck. I'm not a black truck, a black car come up. I thought, "Ooh, the pastor gonna pick him up," but he didn't. Bertel gets on the Greyhound and he goes back home. Um, he goes home, um, back to New York. He goes to Blanca's house and they have dinner together. That's basically it. Um, that's it. That's pretty much all I got. The next episode, the trailer from what I saw, um, Angel and Poppy are finally getting married, and we're gonna see the outcome of that because that in itself is going to be a whole bunch of drama. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have. I will talk to you guys later. If you like this video, please push the like button. Um, if you like this channel, please subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye bye.